Okay, our next speaker is Grenus, who was already talking last year at the Game Dev Days, and we are happy to have you back here today.
Thanks for having me. So my talk is called Turning Stupidity into Games. It's mainly about turning my stupidity into games. So I'm not sure if that applies to everybody, but yeah, let's see. First, a bit about me. I'm currently working at stillalive Studios as a game designer. I do that already now for about 5 years. Besides that, I do some consulting work for various different companies. For example, also for Strayfun Studios or Filomena, who has a talk right after me. And besides that, I also lecture at university. So my free time is rather limited, as you can imagine. But still I found some time to do small games. And the reason for that was last year at this very conference I made some stupid decisions, actually a lot of stupid decisions in quick successions, which got me into the hospital with my hand severe injured, and I needed stitching and couldn't use my hand for several weeks. So a lot of people asked me, and this was by far the severest injury I ever had. And so a lot of people asked me, well, how did I do that? And so I told them about the stupid decision I made. And I told this story again and again. At one point, I got the idea, wait a minute, instead of telling them the story, I could make a text adventure out of it and let them experience my quote-unquote thought patterns. Until today, I don't really know when I had this idea or exactly why. I assume it maybe had something to do with the painkillers, but I'm not sure. So, although I have already quite a lot of years experience in game development, I actually never worked as a coder, so I looked around for ways to do that. And normally text adventures, so if you think text adventures, there is often Twine mentioned. So I checked Twine out, and yeah, I found out that well, that thing is not really for me, because yeah, you can use it to link these nice text snippets to each other, but if you want to do anything more or anything nicer with sounds, with transitions, with images and stuff like that, it's really hard to do that. So I have actually a huge respect for anyone who manages to do a game with Twine, because I really don't like it. So I continued, so I did a small prototype with it, and the basic structure was there, but I didn't want to continue in Twine with it, so I looked around and stumbled across Playmaker, which looked very interesting. Actually, it looked so interesting that I noticed I bought it already months ago in a sale, and so yeah, I started learning Playmaker and looked into several tutorial videos and stuff like that, and I noticed, okay, to do a text adventure like I imagined it, I would need to learn the basics of Playmaker and to yeah, basically to get to know it better. And I thought, yeah, okay, well, I could do that by doing some dummy works and stuff like that. But then I had actually the idea, if I'm already doing a game about myself, then I could do another game about myself. And so I started creating a very small game which I called My Fear. It's a game about my fear of travel. And I used this to learn actually the fundamentals of Playmaker. And it was a very simple one-button game. And while doing that, I enjoyed doing that pretty much. So I learned something new, I built something which I liked, and I could express myself. And while doing that, I had the thought came across me, wait a minute, am I making artsy games? Because I don't like artsy games. But apparently I like making them. So yeah, I thought, okay, good, if I do that, then I should do that properly. So I finished My Fear and started working, or before I started working on my actually text adventure, I set myself some constraints to really keep that in the boundaries of basically what I wanted to do. And because I have the tendency to overshoot or overdo things. So I set myself some constraints. One constraint was that all the games I want to do in my free time, or at least in this session, or let's say challenge, I don't know, should be somewhat personal. So I want to do something which has something to do with me and to express myself. Also, I want to do them alone. The reason for that is twofold. First of all, I have the feeling that if I do a game which is personal or should be personal, if I do that with another person, then it's not that personal anymore. And also, it would be very easy for me, for example, to hire somebody who writes the code for me, and that would contradict the things I want to actually do, because what I want to do is also to learn something while creating. Another constraint I set myself is that I want to keep the art very simple. Here again, also I want to learn something new. The reason is I already worked as 3D artist for several years, and so it would be that hard for me to do fancy art and spend hours on hours on doing that. But I really want to focus on things I don't know yet, instead of things I already know to do. Also, I want to keep them really small, since, as I said before, my free time is rather limited. So, yeah, I decided to really keep them so small that I can easily finish them even in my limited free time. And another thing is that I actually don't want to sell those things. So it should be uncommercial. I don't care about, let's say, target audience or stuff like that. And yeah, with that in mind, I actually started working on the game which I called my Stupidity, and it looks like this right now. It's basically done, and the only thing which I'm missing is still adding some sound to it. But other than that, it's pretty much where I want it to be. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's maybe some of you noticed it looks similar to the game called Grenus, which is a really nice, also you could say text adventure, and it also should be some sort of homage, because I really like that game. And the mechanic is very simple. You have this card, and you can either move it to the left or to the right to choose the path which the story should continue. And basically the goal there is that you manage to be as stupid as I am. So yeah, that's basically the whole thing. And playing that game takes about 2 minutes or so nothing too long. And yeah, working on that, I find that very liberating actually, to working on something like some games like that, because I really don't care if somebody likes the game or not. I don't care if it sells or not. I'm not even putting up anywhere, at least not now. And so compared to my day job, where I work on games and where I need to basically look that a lot of people like the games and a lot of people spend a lot of money on the games so the company can exist longer, this is really refreshing to basically just don't give a fuck and just work on something I want to do. And yeah, I also gained the insight for whom artsy games actually are. They're actually not for the player. They are, yeah, some people might sell those things, but they're actually for the persons who make them. So it's not really about somebody enjoys playing them. It's more about the person who did that enjoying making it. And yeah, that was also quite interesting. So if you have any strange small ideas for games or something like that, I would say go for it and try it out. As long as you don't overdo it, keep it small. And because I've found this experience very entertaining and yeah, enjoyable. Well, that's it.
Questions?
How do you encourage the player to take the stupid path?
I just tell him that if he chooses another thing, that he wasn't stupid enough.
More questions?
How long did it take to make this game?
The question was how long it took to make that game. I actually find it hard to answer because I also don't use any time tracking or something like that, because really I do what I like. So, but it took me about 2 or 3 months, but only so on and off working. I worked in my holiday. I worked so basically half the day I worked on that, half the day I got had free to say, and then on the weekends basically a few hours every weekend. So not too much. I would if I need to guess, I would say under 100 hours, but I couldn't say how much exactly.
And the game itself takes 2 minutes to play.
Yes, but I'm as I said. I mean, as I said, I used it also to learn the Playmaker, and it's also so it's twofold basically what I do. I learn something new, and in the same way I produce something I like basically.